Gary here. This is the third video of my Tacoma adventure build, and today I'm addressing the aftermath of poor maintenance and high mileage. I'm upgrading the front end, rebuilding the CVs and suspension, and fixing a few broken things along the way. Check it out. Today I am in the middle of a teardown and restoration of a 2008 Toyota Tacoma. I bought this thing from a repo auction. It's high mileage, 229,000 miles, completely unknown maintenance history. I did take a gamble on it, but the price was right. It already had a nice suspension lift on it, and I'm going through everything on it. I discovered the tires were wearing funny, examined closer, realized it needed the suspension rebuilt, all new bushings, ball joints, you name it. In the process, I discovered the front diff needed a rebuild. Now, originally I had planned to just rebuild the stock clamshell housing with a new carrier and gears and bearings. I recently found an FJ front diff that has an ARB in it, so I'm going to go ahead and use that one. This is my original differential out of my 08 Tacoma. This one is out of an 07 FJ Cruiser that has an ARB air locker and 456 gears. Alright, I'm going to start tearing this thing apart and take a look at what's inside. Find out if I got my money's worth or not. Now, you don't have to remove the actuator here to rebuild the differential, but I'm going to because this area is a little bit vulnerable to damage when you're wheeling these things hard. This is out of an FJ Cruiser that was driven hard off-road. The guy pulled it out to swap in a solid axle. It's the only reason he took it out. I've been guaranteed it is perfect, but buyer beware, you know? I also don't know what this purple sealant is. I haven't seen it before. And by the looks of how oily this thing was, I would say it probably was leaking gear oil from somewhere. Either that, or they were just really bad at oil changes. Little trade secret, get a cheap box of razor blades at Harbor Freight and use these to clean up the mating surfaces. Steel surfaces, not aluminum. There we go. Okay, I think I found where he was leaking. So this guy absolutely exploded I want to say that's the intermediate shaft at some point. These gears in here must have snapped probably when it was locked. And I can tell because of the carnage in here, this thing's all banged up. It's pretty common in these. It's kind of why I'm excited to have a second carrier. I'm not going to say it's common. It happens. I'm kind of excited, especially if you have a locker in there like an ARB. I'm kind of pretty happy to have a second housing now, an intermediate shaft, in case I ever break one. Yeah, it looks like they did not actually use enough sealant on this one and it was leaking. And again, keep all debris out. I'm going for maximum reliability here. My approach to working on four-wheel drives is kind of like working on aircraft. An airplane cannot pull over if it breaks down. I can pull over if I break down, but the problem is it might be in a really, really bad spot. Like the vehicle could roll, could flip, go off a cliff, or, which actually has happened. In Moab, that happened a few years ago. A guy broke an axle, rolled backwards off a cliff, and both people died. Serious stuff can happen if you break down in the wrong spot. And of course, I could just break down in the middle of nowhere and, you know, die of heat stroke because I don't have water and nobody finds me for a week. There we go. It has one of those horrible retaining clips that the CV axles have. That's why I did not want to pop out. Now initially I was planning to re-gear this diff and put 4.3 gears in it to give me better mileage on the freeway and a higher top speed. I took it apart. I discovered it has Nitro gears in it that are almost brand new. They were set up really, really well. The wear pattern on them is perfect. Whoever did this did a really good job. Actually, I can tell you who it was. I think it was Todd at Mercenary Off-Road. Super nice guy. I bought a used diff off him. Used differentials are always a gamble in my experience. Worked out great. Honest guy. Everything he told me is true. Alright, so anyway, back to the gear ratio. These trucks, the manual transmissions are geared low. First gear is like 4 to 1. Overdrive is 0.85 to 1. I don't know why the overdrive is so tall on them. It sucks. And the FJ Cruiser is like 0.7 or something. That means with stock gears and stock tires, my max speed in the freeway was like 80, 85. Like, I think at 82 miles an hour, I would actually hit 3,000 RPM. My goal in the freeway is to keep it below 3,000. Realistically, below 2,500 is even better. But that's just not going to happen with this truck. So that's why I wanted 4.3 gears with 35-inch tires. 4.19 will bring me back to the stock ratio. They don't make 4.19 gears, so I was going to go with 4.3. So a little bit deeper, gives me a little bit more power to compensate for the bigger tires and rolling mass. But here's the thing. I can save 500 bucks by just leaving this the way it is, and it'll save me about 5 hours of labor. It is not fun to re-gear a clamshell differential, any differential, but especially a clamshell. The shims are pressed into the housing behind the race, and you can't easily measure the backlash on these or see the pattern, the mesh pattern. You have to get a special adapter that goes through the drain plug, and you have to take it back apart, open the clamshell and take it apart again to view the mesh pattern. So save 500 bucks and at least 5 hours of work. Yeah, I'm gonna stick in with Nitro gears. Guys, I'm sticking with this. So that works out really well. Let me show you the mesh pattern on this. This is pretty good. All right, there's the drive side. That was set up pretty well. All right, so the gear oil is really nasty. I'm gonna clean this up real well, put it back together, seal it up, paint it, and put it back in the truck. This whole thing's been rebuilt, basically, so, guys, I looked out. 500 bucks, 456 Nitro gears already set up, ARB air locker. I put a little oil on this surface here, which is what the ARB O-rings seal on. When ARBs leak, it's usually this thing in here. Cool. This already has the East Coast gear supply bushing, and it's in pretty decent shape, so I'm going to leave that in there. Okay, so this locker has not been used in a few years at least, and I'm putting together my own airline for it because it did not come with the ARB airline. It does have an ARB bulkhead on it, which took me a while to figure out the thread size on it. It is 3/8 24 UNF. It is an older one. I think the newer ones use BSPT. Anyway, I'm going to bench test this with my air compressor to make sure it works and is not leaking, because if it leaks, I'm going to have to take this apart and it's going to be a pain. So, and I don't want to have to pull this differential back out of the truck. So let's test this out. Okay. Alright, that's in. Okay, unlocked. It's not forcing the CV to turn. So that tells me it's unlocked right now. Let's put pressure on it. Okay. And now, no matter what, it is turning this CV axle. Perfect! It works! Haha! 500 bucks well spent, guys. Today I'm rebuilding both of the CV front axles off my 2nd gen Tacoma, an '08 Tacoma. As you can see, this one came apart as I removed it from the vehicle. Got a little bit dirty here. I'm going to clean this thing up, put new boots on it. There are a few different options out there for boots as far as brand goes. I prefer to go with Toyota kits. They're really not that much money, about the same as buying aftermarket, and I feel like they are the best. And one thing I like about these is you get the exact same grease that came in the CV axle from the factory. You don't want to mix and match greases of different types. I have used kits from other manufacturers, and the greases, even though they should have been compatible, for some reason seem to react, liquefied, or ran out of the axle. So anyway, I stuck with Toyota. This one lasted 200,000 miles. Should be good for another 200,000 with a Toyota kit on it. First things first, let's clean this thing up and cut the little boots off it. So each one of these 3 bearings actually has bearings inside of it, and if this thing's really nasty, you're going to have to take these apart, remove the circlip on each one, clean out the bearings, pack them with grease. If you're not going to do that, do not put solvent on this end. You will ruin the bearings. So what I'm going to do is, it's actually not as dirty as I thought. I'm going to wipe off as much as I can with a clean rag, and I'm going to knock this off so I can get the new CV boot on, and then I'm just going to pack it with grease and put it back together with the new boot. You can see the circlip in here and how that comes off and this inner race spins. I'm pretty sure there's ball bearings in here, but I don't usually actually rebuild this part. Make a note of which grease types go where. This part is the outer boot, and this has the gray grease in it that looks like it has graphite. Just try to wipe out as much of the old grease as you can. Slide this on. Now this part I actually am going to go clean off with some solvent. I'm going to try to use a hose clamp and a drill. You probably have noticed that it's really not that expensive to buy an aftermarket CV axle. You can get them for like 70, 80 bucks. It's about, I want to say like 40 bucks to get a Toyota rebuild kit online, maybe 50. I don't know what grade of steel any of these companies are using. Toyota in general does not skimp on steel quality. I have seen a lot more aftermarket shafts break, and something I can verify is the size of the shaft. Let me show you, let me measure the diameter here. I have 2 genuine Toyota CV axles and an aftermarket one. That one is a Toyota, it's about 32 millimeters. Also 32 millimeters, another Toyota. Aftermarket is 29 millimeters. That's a 3 millimeter difference. It might not sound like a lot, but it is noticeable when you look at it. And in terms of strength, that is going to be an appreciable, a considerable difference in strength. All right, this is the dust seal that goes in the CV. Alright, these wheel bearings are completely shot. I don't know if you can hear that. I have replacements for it already. Pulled off my last truck, they were still good. I am going to clean up these spindles, hit them with some rust converter, and then chassis paint on top of that. After I do that, I'm swapping the wheel bearings. I can do the wheel bearings afterwards because I don't want to get paint on the mating surface here. I'm rebuilding the FabTech Dirt Logic coilovers off the front of my Tacoma. Now, the process here is more or less the same for other coilovers as well, Fox, King, Icon, whatever. I think these are actually made by Swayway. Anyway, it's not terribly complicated, and stay tuned to see how I'm going to do it. In my next video, I'm rebuilding the lower control arms and have some tips for getting the lower bushings out too.